Uncle Jesse here. We're in my storage room in my building. This is an area that I don't think I've ever shown in a video before because it's an absolute disaster. This is where I store a lot of different things, from 3D printers that I need to review, to old projects, to paints that I might be working with, or even old 3D printing projects. But I'd like to get that under control, so today I'm going to be building the large tote bin storage system that I've seen all over the internet that works with those large black and yellow bins that you can buy at most stores. I ended up getting mine from Costco, but it should help me get organized, and I'm going to do things today with a bit of a twist. Since I do 3D printing, I'm 3D printing some tools and accessories for this project. And one big part of this will just be me going back through and reorganizing, throwing out things. And the whole idea of this is I can get back to the core idea of I could just have 3D printers that I need to review, or large projects sitting on the shelves, and have everything else that's smaller contained in these individual tote bins that I can then have neatly organized and just better manage this overall space. And this is the wall that I'm talking about. So here I've got this relatively flat, large wall for me to work with. Ideally, this project is perfect for anybody that has things in their basement that they want to organize, or in their garage. I'm actually wanting to do this in my own garage this summer to get it just better organized as well. Also, if you're interested in building this project for yourself, all of the plans that I'm going to design for this are specifically designed for the Costco large black and yellow storage bins. They are slightly different sizes than the ones that you can find in Home Depot or Lowe's. So just double check that before going ahead and building this. But I am going to freely share the plans that I build for this. So if you want to modify that or take it and just run with it, you're going to be able to do whatever you'd like with that. So ideally, the storage unit will take up basically this whole side wall here from floor to ceiling. I'm not entirely sure how many bins I'm going to be able to fit vertically or horizontally, so that's all things that I have to figure out with some basic measurements. Now, to get those measurements, you could just use a regular tape measure, but we're not doing that here today. We're going more high tech. And to use that, I'm going to be using this digital measuring tape from Reekon. It's the T1 Tomahawk. They're not sponsoring this video. This is just an awesome piece of tech, and I'm absolutely loving it that it syncs up the measurements directly to my Vision Pro. It's registered it there as 107 inches and 1/8. Now I can also use this to measure from the top to the bottom of this as well. So let's use that to measure the height to the ceiling here and hit the button. 93 3/8 is what we're dealing with here vertically. Now I also need to measure one of the bins so we know exactly how many of these I can fit in the rack. It's about 30 inches, and then horizontally here, we're at a little over 20 inches. And then I need to see how big of a lip this is. About 1 5/16 are the measurements that we're dealing with. So here are the two wall measurements, and then here are the 3 bin measurements that I can now work with. Now you don't have to go all in and tech crazy like I just did. It was just something for fun here. But now that I have the basic set of measurements, I'm going to take that online into TinkerCAD, which is a free online CAD solution that's going to allow me to take the basic measurement details and start creating the structure and figuring out exactly how many rows and columns that I can have of these storage bins in the room. I'll even be sharing this TinkerCAD file, so if you wanted to take the same layout and design and remix it, you'll be able to do that yourself. And now that I've got the basic plans in place, it's time for me to head over to Lowe's and pick up the wood, and then try to figure out how to load this all into my oh so small car with all these big pieces of lumber. And before I start measuring out and cutting up the wood, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is none other than Elegoo, the makers of the Elegoo Neptune series of 3D printers. They are fast, affordable, and print extremely well, which I used for the tools and accessories that I'll be showing off in the video here. I was printing with the Neptune 4 and the Neptune 4 Plus, but they even have a larger size printer, which is the Neptune 4 Max, which comes in at just under $500. But I'm getting my hands on their latest 3D printer, which is the Giga, which is an absolutely huge 3D printer that is so big I could basically live in it. Well, maybe not, but you get the idea. If you're interested in more information about any of Elegoo's 3D printers or products, you'll find links to those down below. So I've taken the plans and the set of measurements that I came up with, and I'm now transferring those directly over to the pieces of wood so that I can get them prepped and ready for cutting. And I printed this 90-degree angle line drawing tool that's gonna help me mark the boards based on all the specific measurement points that I have on my board. Then once I've got those all marked, I can bring those outside to where I have my miter saw ready to go to start cutting up the wood. I also tried to minimize buying buying the 10-foot or longer boards for this project. I tried to just stick to the 8-foot because I knew with a little bit of effort that would fit into my car. So what's great about this is the top vertical beams and the bottom beams are all just straight beams that I don't have to do any cuts on. That's also going to apply to the anchor beams that I'm going to drill directly into the studs of the wall because I don't want this thing toppling over. Now for the shelves that actually hold the totes up, I ended up going with 2x3 boards that I'm going to cut down to 31 inches in length, and I should be able to get 3 cuts out of one 96-inch long board. And a total of 14 of those boards that I picked up should leave me with 40 beams. All right, so now that I've got the back supports mounted to the wall, I've just now realized that I need to further clean out this room because I'm gonna have to build the entire thing pretty much in here. Basically, there's no way that I could build the outer frame of this and get it through my doorway. It's just not gonna fit. So I've gotta make some room in here, and I'm gonna have to very carefully angle everything to get it all bolted together. The one thing about my flooring in here is it's not perfectly level. There's a bit of a hump to it, which is where you can see a big gap right there on the end. But to help keep this beam level with this beam, I just slid a piece of cardboard under there so everything would sit level. Now here's something pretty cool. I am doing this all by myself here, and I don't have enough room to install that top beam to support all of the frames here in the center. So I've 3D printed this little right angle bracket that I'm installing against each of the beams that will hopefully keep these supported as I tilt this upwards and install that top beam. And fingers crossed there's enough room for me to pull this off. Thankfully, I have drop ceilings that I can position out of the way so I have a little bit more head clearance to do some of the screwing here. Now to get the spacing for the beams along the top, I just took that same piece of wood that I cut to size and clamped that in place and then just started drilling these on in. And now that I've got the first frame assembled, I now need to do it all over again. But before I do that, I'm gonna secure it to the back wall by using those same 3D printed brackets. Now to install the ladders that help support the bins, I took the 33-inch boards that we previously cut and I started mounting those to the frame. And to help with mounting them as well as making sure that they were equally spaced out, I ended up using 2 of these 13.5-inch scrap pieces of wood. And this 3D printed drill guide / dust sketcher helped make sure it didn't create a giant mess. And after getting the storage unit assembled, before putting bins in there, what I want to do is go ahead and add some more of these little corner brackets throughout the actual frame to give it a little bit more rigidity while it's standing. So I placed them all along the bottom here, and I've started placing them in the midsection, anchoring it to the wall. And just like that, it's all finished. This ended up taking about 1 full weekend for me to finish this whole entire project, and I'm really liking how sturdy it is with the addition of those 3D printed brackets that I installed in a whole bunch of the different corners of this shelving unit. Now, one huge benefit, if you decide to do this or not, is just going through and cleaning out your storage areas inside your house or your garage or in your storage room like I did here. I freed up so much space by just going back through everything and tossing out a ton of useless stuff. But now, after all that effort, I have a whole lot of extra storage space for some of those extra projects that I've been working on. And you can see how these large tote bins slide right into the storage shelving unit. I ended up printing this tape holder mount, which just works perfectly for this blue painter's tape that I'll be using to help label and identify each of the bins and the contents within them, since you can't see inside them. And since I'm prone to losing Sharpies, here's a 3 Sharpie holder that I was able to mount on the side with that as well. And I have this insanely long extension cord that just takes up way too much space and tends to be just all over the place. So I printed a hook and now have a dedicated space for this here in the studio. And since my floors aren't even, I ended up taking a few scrap pieces of wood and shoving those underneath the bottom supports of the frame of the structure here to help keep everything stabilized. But this is going to help free up so much more space here in my studio when it comes to me making so many projects and sharing them with you all. I don't have enough place to store them, and I don't like to throw them out. So now I can start storing a lot of these projects in the bins, and it's not taking up excess space out in my studio. And as for the cost breakdown, I spent about $130 on the wood and hardware, the screws, etc., that I used for this at Lowe's. And then when it came to the storage bins, these are specifically designed again for the Costco bins that you can find there. And those are $9 a piece, and I bought 20 of them, and that comes out to about $190. So for a grand total, I'm sitting somewhere around $320 for this entire project that fits perfectly here inside this space and allows me to really utilize both vertically and horizontally for all of these storage bins. I also want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters for your continued support of me making videos here on the interweb, like this one here. If you're interested in things like my 3D printer settings that I used for these 3D prints, you can find those over on my Patreon. So before I wrap this up, I actually had one other idea for a 3D printable project to help take this whole thing to another level looks-wise. This isn't going to add anything other than just the appealingness of this in my eyes, and that is by 3D printing these end caps that are going to go over the butts of each of the sections of the storage unit. Again, these really don't do anything functionally. It's all about the decorative aspect of this, just to make it pop a little bit more by adding the black trim to all of the different parts here of this storage unit. And again, this was such a fun project to put together. It might not be the perfect solution for everyone's needs, and just a standard storage rack might specifically meet what you desire, but this for me fits the perfect amount of space here and allows me to really maximize it to the fullest potential with all of these different bins. If you're interested in building one of these for yourselves, again, I'll have links to the plans that I designed for this down below that you can check out and attempt this for yourself or revise it and make your own. And if you're interested in anything that I've 3D printed as part of this video, I'll have links to those down below. I just want to say thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.